Yeah. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. I'm edge of your year, ruling over all the house. When I came down, I came in a chariot. You are just a weak link. All you do is repeat like a motherfucker. Only stay with a parasite. When I'm in the airflow, I never need a parachute. No, I never gotta change up a narrative to get the flight. Guys on the MC, call on the MTV, all of the empty. Well, it's the flight box, I'll be lifty. God gonna just leave them all of the tricky spells. Tipped and felt like in a hell. Dirty down and good. Like this deity, they go on death with demons, twisted voodoo. Oh, yeah. Never going in the light. Never going in the light. If it's frozen in dollar or roller coaster case with no basketball, look how I go on the paint. You should never wanna go on a plane unless it's with the fly by. I just want you on my side, girl, on a jet into the night, God. Get you with the python. That's thinking the Bible, evil girl. What kind of apple you eating? Look, nobody know how Adam and Eve look. In the kitchen, I had to go clean and cook. Nobody knew how much cheese it took. I would never be the weakest link. I don't care if nobody gonna believe in me. Fly like a birdie, tweedly. Looking for a sneaky link. Maybe to my shirt off, hanging over my head like Petey Pablo with a freaking link. Did you know I'm flighty? About to get hypey like I'm Kate the Snake. Fuck until I lose my voice. Now you ain't gotta use a toy. Girl, please don't pursue the boy. Cause I don't be caring about shit in the past. I move to the future, I'm hitting the gas. I'm going 210 on the dash. Just to be getting this cash, my hands will be itching like it'll be getting a rash. You would get back, don't know, homo. With them niggas coming and getting your ass. You funky spirits need to get in the bag. You know how long that nigga been in the last. If my nigga Angela close, nobody close. When I got the pen in the pad, don't need to hit the train station. Since I got a spaceship funny on my mission at last. About to roll a couple blunts, get a chop cheese for niggas sit on the earth. Yeah. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. I'm edge of your year, ruling over all the house. When I came down, I came in a chariot. You are just a weak link. All you do is repeat like a motherfucker. Only stay with a parasite. When I'm in the airflow, I never need a parachute. No, I never gotta change up a narrative. Niggas with flight. Guys on the MC, call on the MTV, all of the empty. Well, it's the flight box, I'll be lifty. God gonna lift me from all of the tricky spells. Tipped and felt like in a hell. Dirty down and doo-doo. Yeah. The deity, they go on death with demons with this voodoo. Oh, yeah. Never going in the light. Never going in the light. Yeah, we going through a big shift. After it's all said and done, we won't believe in Christmas. Satan got you niggas on his wish list. Oh god, damn, show us ending, close all kind of curtains. Body hurting cause the rising currents. Just the tides is turning, got you feeling like you by a furnace. Like some fire burning, find for certain. Like first we third degree, go find a surgeon. Yeah, the pilot surfing, changing climate circuits. I'm your esoteric lawyer at the highest purchase. This is how you learn it. Information age, now your mind is working, highly worth it. Yeah, chicken is Jewish, sounding shit just like it's worthless. Don't know about that. Yeah. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. I'm edge of your year, ruling over all the house. When I came down, I came in a chariot. You are just a weak link. All you do is repeat like a motherfucker. Only stay with a parasite. When I'm in the airflow, I never need a parachute. No, I never gotta change up a narrative to get the flight. Guys on the MC, call on the MTV, all of the empty. Well, it's the flight box, I'll be lifty. God gonna lift me from all of the tricky spells. Tipped and felt like in a hell. Dirty down and doo-doo. The deity, they go on death with demons with this voodoo. Oh, yeah.
And other than that, I'm the best rapper alive. You know what I'm saying? Substance-wise, flow-wise, producer-wise, just wise and intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Other than that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else's mind is flunked out stuff. You want to hear about trash cans? Probably got a lot of artists out there for it. You know what I'm saying? You want to hear about tinfoil rims? Probably a lot of artists out there for it. You want to hear about rappers getting played with they booty holes and stuff like that, make excuses for it because it was their girl did it or whatever. They got artists out there for that. There's a lot of stuff out there. Welcome to new territory, hip hop or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? It really don't go no further than that. Other than that, we're gonna teach everybody how to move, so people ain't still crashing out like the moon still is Scorpio. Even though the moon in Scorpio that was full still playing out now, you ain't gonna catch that remnants fading until they get close into that square sign. You know what I'm saying? So when they get close into that square energy or whatever, aka Aquarius, and we almost there or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? Still, you might have like accumulated a lot of stuff during the full moon in Scorpio, and you still gonna be moons behind. Moons that sit on your behind. You gonna have to sit down somewhere. Some of y'all doing time. A lot of darkness, a lot of scariness, a lot of circumstances and situations that play out in people's lives where, you know, if they can't get it right, you just sit down a bit. then you able to get it right and stuff like that. Some people don't be getting that other chance to get it right. Other people do, and things of that nature. It depends on how much they invest themselves into getting it right until they start repeating the same circumstance and the same situation. And then for the most part, here they go saying, I wish I could have, would have again, and stuff like that. And you can't really teach a knucklehead that. You know what I'm saying? Because like secretly the spirit be trying to see how far they can get away with something. So when someone already on an unproductive path, the spirit still be doing the same thing. So yeah, you let a liar get away with a lie. You think they gonna lie again? You know what I'm saying? You let a bull beep beep Beavis and Butthead on the couch and tell you that the couch is something else or whatever the case may be. You think next time you come to the crib they ain't on the couch again, they're gonna tell you it's something else. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna tell you it's Walt Disney one day, SeaWorld the next day, Six Flags the next day. So you realize you gonna never be able to wake them up out of telling them it's Beavis and Butthead couch. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't gonna be able to have a good creative ideas like, hey, well, maybe let me go put in some productivity. Hey, maybe let me go make a clothing line. Hey, let me go work construction. Hey, let me go try to, you know what I'm saying, do something that make the world go around. You know what I'm saying? Or better than that. Better than that. Once you start doing stuff that make you'll feel better about yourself and everything around you and stuff like that. You got to get into it though. I know a lot of us living lives that's we so distracted, it'll start to seem like that's something to put first in the backseat in your esoteric spaceship. Oh, this don't matter. I'm not gonna be able to get it like that. Somebody else to do it. You know what I'm saying? You keep being in those mind states and stuff like that, you'll never get into that energy we get ready to break down. Because the goddamn moon in Capricorn, the sun in Taurus. You better be about your money. You better be about your money. If you ain't about nothing else right now, you better be about your. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't about that money, or you, let's say you young and you watch my channel or whatever, you might not be in a position where responsibilities is based on money. It still got some that money foundations as an energy wise, as a character wise, it's a foundation on. And you got to be stable in some area. Had to have some type of stability. Or you're gonna be a person who's cloudy all in the head and stuff like that. And you know, whoever take care of you as far as money wise and stuff like that is gonna be looking at you like you might be unproductible in the future because you can't buckle down into what Taurus want to teach everybody, how to be stable within a circumstance and a situation. And we always in a certain energy, so that's the what. The how is always the matter. Y'all get lost into the how, into the what and not the how, and start to pick and choose what side of the what side of the coin, what feather of the bird you want to be on, or what side of it, or whatever the case. But when it comes into this energy, especially like Earth, it's about being fixated in something. So, you know, when you're fixated in something, it can go two ways. If you're getting a good reciprocation and you're productive and you're able to help yourself and others in some type of way, even if you can't help nobody else, you helping your own mind, so you're not playing out destructive energy. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. It's the same thing, but it's going to be looked at as consistent. You could be in the same energy though, but you on the unproductive side of the universe. So now the what, you doing it the how in a whole different way, the other homegirl, other homeboy, or whatever the case may be. So you doing the same thing, it just looked like you stubborn. It looked like you just keep doing the same thing thinking you gonna get different results. You live in insanity. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, all these have different qualities when it comes to having both sides, but having a position where you're in that spiritual location itself and things of that nature. And when you get that right, that take you a little closer to learning what equilibrium is. Therefore, you know, each bias that you're in may not have anything to do with the external thing that you're involved in, that have its own individual bias or whatever. And sometimes you have to separate or set aside your own biases in order not to ruffle any feathers, all puns intended, no puns intended, or for the most part, you know, create or cause more of a commotion or cause more of a problem for yourself within the situation. So it might be things you have to do that you may not like, but doing these things is helping the sake for the situation of yourself and others or whatever, or to not to cause more problems. You know, this is one of the reasons why if you got a job and you get ready to quit, they tell you to put in a 2 weeks notice or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? All of these is for reasons that actually make sense. And when you participate, you know what I'm saying, you start to align yourself right. But these are things we need to learn how to get into, because for the most part, when we're unproductive, we start looking at productive things like it ain't worth our time. And that's just the lack of quality that of energy we put in it. Where your attention go, the energy flow. And what is energy? Your thoughts and feelings. It ain't nothing else unless you get ready to get pseudoed out or whatever the case may be. When I say I'm picking up other people, we all may say the same words because we all colonized out with the English language. But when we all get a little bit more spiritual, God will show us that there's a broader way of looking at these things that man have slapped words and meanings on, that they might have been in a certain position of observing it, but it's so much greater in that space. And a lot of these interactions we're having, there's not words for it, but we are experiencing it every day. And a lot of times we put it, set it aside, put it in the back seat for our daily distractions. And therefore our daily bread don't get toasted the right way and things of that nature. So for the most part, we out here spiritually hungry, dehydrated, stressed out, and things of that nature, not spiritually fruitful. You know what I'm saying? Not having that esoteric currency. That's being spiritually broke. So you can't spark the idea. So even when you're looking at something that have already previously been an idea, you don't even feel yourself important enough to see yourself as a representative of that. So those creative things that make the world go around, you might find a disdain in these things before participation. You may find another person to hate in that world before finding your place in that world. You may find your way to try to make justifications why it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Yet every day you wake up, you eat, shit, and sleep, and you put clothes on your back, and you listen to music. You can't even watch music that's in silent. And only reason certain horror movies got certain scenes that's in silent. That's the reason. Everything is for a reason. And the suspenseful energy that you need to be in, you justify it for that. Other than that, you put background sequences, music in the rest of the goddamn scenes, or it ain't a movie. Period. You know what I'm saying? When Superman flying around, we want to hear dun, 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 dun. When someone's saving a day or whatever, when something go wrong, someone get their heart broke, we want to hear dun, dun, dun. You know what I'm saying? It's all, y'all get creative. Y'all be in these studios, all y'all Steven Spielbergs and stuff like that. Y'all know the secrets and sounds and eardrums and what makes something, you know what I'm saying, make us react and willing to go broke to show up at the movie theaters and get taxed because we want the 3D glasses before we, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what to do. I don't know what these new directors is doing, but you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, once upon a time, people was intelligent. These is real things and stuff like that you got to get into, and it built substances and stuff like that for y'all to really be in that energy of knowing that you're producing the minerals that you actually don't be as fatigued as your family, friends, and associates and co-workers. And that is leading to what you get ready to do with all that energy. If you're already productive, it's going straight towards something creative or straight towards something that no one in your family, friends, or associates or co-workers was able to come up with first. And boom, you good to go. Even if y'all all doing the same thing, you reach a certain area before them, and you reach a certain path. So pathways in the mind, you had to be there first before you can even experience that physically. So give yourself an applause. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you watch my channel, you already way more spiritual than everybody you ever been around. Give yourself an applause. Real stuff. Start to appreciate the little things in life that transmute into things that you think you want and things that you like don't care to do because you don't see yourself in that light because life been hard. And life been hard for all of us and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? But we need to, you know, inspire each other and not talk down on each other. And then for the most part, I allow everybody to be in a space of giving more energy to them, that neurons that create that youthful energy, not the neurons that, you know, that compression in the mental spiritual world lead into the physical reality of what we call or consider depression. And then therefore, once we're compressed, we're not able to expand and emanate new sparks of life to condense as blood flow. Then those old sparks we're condensed in, we can't get out of it. And it play out as memories, it play out as actions. And then for the most part, when we don't start to evolve or expand out of that mentally and physically, it start to wear and tear and it show on us physically. And it speed up our aging process, it speed up our wear and tear in our organs and things of that nature. And then we don't need to be in that kind of situation right now because we're going through a shift where your bodily fluids and organs is needed. Because the shift is strong. So your first body is getting beat up right now. The first body is your mental body, and the ocean esoteric wave we're going through a different one. So now that shift is causing catastrophic. That automatically by default make your body react and respond to things that you are unaware of. Because you may not be sensitive to the senses, but you can feel it because your actual life is changing. Your body, you starting to feel it. A lot of y'all are starting to realize you may need to exercise more, whatever the case may be, where a few years ago you didn't. You could have sat around and you still was in a certain kind of position. But a lot of y'all right now got ankle sprains, and then you ain't play a day of basketball or baseball or whatever the case may be, but you running around more hurt than someone who playing football or whatever the case. And you got to go to the hospital and getting all these external crutches and stuff like that, and then you're gonna need those just for your ankles to be okay, where you could have just, start to make your blood flow, start to get your mind right, and pay more attention to the things that enjoy your that help you enjoy yourself, or the things you like to do, and start to kind of compartmentalize these things, because we're building neurons, and it bend in and become blood flow, and that turns into tissue and bone marrow, and then that ultimately becomes your physique. So when you spend way more percentage scale, aka that just means way more time, way more minutes, hours throughout the day, all that accumulate for 3 months, 6 months, and then you might spend way more time. That's why a lot of y'all need to keep spiritual notepads when you at the beginning stages of your journey, so you can start to keep track, so you can see how much you be off and get back on course and things of that nature, and fight it, because it'd be hard, because we live in life and it's just a bunch of distractions and stuff like that, and things we're forced to do against our own will, but have to use our will to do it. That's wear and tear on the mind and the physical. But when you spend a whole lot of time, right, in the wrong memories and the things that could happen, that's on the ground basis of you already in the spiritual space of being in negative memories, anything that you see even positive gonna have more of a percentage scale of a negative annotation around it from your esoteric filter and 3D glasses, and therefore you might even play out self-sabotaging situations when it comes to relationships you might get involved in, certain family relationships that wasn't as toxic as you getting ready to be the toxic one and make it become the be, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, you start looking like that grumpy family member, you start looking like that grumpy friend, you start looking like that grumpy associate and coworker, or whatever the case may be. Then it's too late once it becomes physical. Now you ain't got nothing else to do to create an entertainment within yourself, but causing hell on everybody that know you, and even doing it more extreme to the people you're close to, because they let you get away with a little bit more stuff than a stranger. But you'll be in that little spiritual ticket. I'm a master orator, going back to the beginning of the live stream. All spirits be in that little testing how far they can go energy. Once you're on that path, you doing that to all strangers too that start to get to know you at your jobs, around your neighborhoods, the stores you commonly go to and stuff like that. You build real good familiarity relationships with the cashiers and stuff like that, and a whole lot of cashiers at all the Walmarts you go to and stuff like that have good long half an hour when they on break drinking coffee conversations about you and stuff like that. Like, I know this person get ready to come back here today. Oh, they'll start. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody know you get ready to be grunt master flex pump bound you one. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't really spiritual like that and things of that nature. So you're not seeing the small instances of life. So once it start playing out in ways that once you look in the mirror and it start to develop as insecurities and stuff like that, you already off track. But you can always reverse anything that's natural. Now you get a synthetic GMO issue based upon man and woman practices and things of that nature. You may need those things to overcompensate for it. You may need those things to help calm it down. You may need these Tylenols and Benadryls, or however the case may be, ADHD medications, and mental jackets and mental institutions. You might need these things. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if it's a natural cause or whatever, there's always a natural way of going about it and things of that nature. And the first test is balancing your hormones and things of that nature. So any organ deficiency, you reproduce the vitamin deficiency on your own, because that's what we do. We reproduce blood. That's your water. That's your own individual water. Your air, it's clear, but your air cycle is also your thought cycle. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of times it's hard for you to compare and contrast your thought when you jump into a bigger wave of a collection of other thoughts when you're in an unfamiliar area or a location and things of that nature. So it takes more time for you to gather your thoughts than an individual who may be familiar in that area, however the case may be. But these are things that just actually be going on. So that's just spirituality for the hood. But for the most part, like I said, the moon is in Capricorn. So that's not making, you know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing too. You have to understand the thin line between things. Even before it get into divination or religious aspects or false spiritual aspects and things of that nature, it's from the person's position of speaking about it. So you can either be speaking about things in a context of you have to do something, or you could be speaking in things within the context of something is doing something to you. See what I'm saying? So let's say we talk about astrology. If a person start to speak, even before they even get into divination, that's the ground basis that has no choice but to lead in one of those directions, and divination may be one of them. Subsidiary off that record label that once a person is looking at it in that way of is doing something to you. So for the most part, that's a false pretense because you have your own will. But your own will is if you're going to be doing something in sync or not. So when you make a mistake, it's your fault. When you get something right, it's because you was willing to learn or you was open to it. You see what I'm saying? But it ain't something that made you learn 4 plus 4 equals 8. But if 4 plus 4 was there for you to learn, if swimming in the swimming pool was there for you to learn, it's up to you if you gonna learn it or you gonna learn it. But it ain't the swimming pool making you do anything. It ain't the teacher making you do anything. The teacher just up there teaching. She gonna have to call your parent if you get an F all the time because she ain't gonna whoop you or whatever the case. Well, they used to do that and have paddles and stuff. I'm glad they took that out. But if you get what I'm actually saying. So when you're looking at it through the frame of astrology, if somebody starts to explain Mars is in this certain planet, so it's going to have you do something, that's wrong. But if you're in the energy of understanding we have to do things, then you teach it the way I teach it. If the sun is in a certain planet, if the sun is in a certain sign, this what you should do. Now, if you don't do it, you didn't walk through that path. You didn't take that opportunity. You didn't have that awareness. And those who lack knowledge shall perish and be moons behind up under mistakes, having to play catch up. But it's not the moon making you do anything. But it's the energy, almost like the concept if we was looking at planting a seed and it grow a tree as an energy. That's the energy. You can choose to do it or don't do it. Now, since these things ain't being taught within this type of mind frame, yet there ain't no such thing as without it being seasons and things of that nature, then, that's for the sake of the lack of humanity or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, it ain't like you ain't got no choice but to do these things anyway, just like a parasite, bacteria, bug, and animal, and plants and trees, and you ain't no different. You just use your mind to do indifferent things. That the ground basis to being unsync, unrelatable, and get ready to cause an unproductive situation that you can't help yourself or you're going to harm yourself and others in some way, shape, or form because you don't know how to be in order with something. So you're going to be more in some type of concept of using your mind for something physical and then using the external world to please your physical, leaving your spirit as you observing the situation out of the picture. So you fail to observe maybe the perception from somebody else's mind that you probably could be hurting that's in a physical. Maybe someone else that you can help, but you being too greedy because you only thinking about getting it for yourself or however, right? You miss a whole bunch of awarenesses when you separate yourself and you just trap yourself from the mind and separate yourself from your own true self, your awareness. I mean, you being an observer. Your awareness is your mind. You get trapped in these bubbles and sometimes you can't see past it. And a lot of times you be in situations where you don't want to see past it. And then those the early stages of becoming a narc. You know what I'm saying? I'm the early stages of becoming goddamn egotistical. Somebody just, you ain't going to be able to change their mind. Because they only see it that way. You know what I'm saying? SEA. They only see it that way. It's the same way we see that light condensed as cloud and water and created all the seas and river flows and stuff. So knowing the direction of the water is knowing the direction of how to see something mentally or whatever and things of that nature. And therefore, that's why the ocean and everybody, that's the brain, that's the mind. That's why seafood, they call it brain food, but the ocean. And so anybody who mess up the ocean or whatever the case may be ain't got a good mind. They got a dirty mind. So when they project the most external or the most broad thing that connects with the mind is the water, right? The water flow. But a person to be so much in their own mind and their distractions that they're in their own mind, the first thing they're going to do anyway is destroy water, but it's going to lead into destroying other people's emotions. Or this is the early stages of where the antagonist energy come from. Those who are antagonists can't deal with their own emotions, so they want other people to to be in some energy that they can feel the way that they feel, but also try to give them a manuscript on how to deal with it. But when you express how to deal with it, it's toxicity. It may be negative. You know what I'm saying? It may be hateful. So just your entertainment or how you please yourself is trying to get by your own self is get rid of some emotion that you don't like. But some people know how to cover this up real good, but it's still self-projecting. So if they see someone else happy, they want to put them down. If a person had a negative past, they'll remind them about it, but also play a devil's advocate. Try to do some sarcasm to make the individual feel like, why you mad about it though? You shouldn't be mad about it. You should get over it. This should be something common. This should be something normal, or whatever the case may be, right? That's a toxic individual, you know what I'm saying? And they probably need some water in their life or whatever, because they probably walking around looking like an old Ziploc bag of spoiled mayonnaise. You know what I'm saying? So you got to peep game and stuff like that. Sometimes you got to let people soak in their own spoiledness and stuff like that, and don't let them dump it on you. And a lot of times people didn't got good at it, and the highest magnitude is the wittiness through sarcasm. But if the ground basis is on being an opposer, being a negative individual, then it doesn't matter how slick the tongue is when it comes to sarcasm and things of that nature. It's still on a negative toxic pretense. That person haven't dealt with something internally yet. So a person might can get that across or get away with that with another person that may be internally damaged, or a person that may have that don't react but still don't know how to switch the tide, switch the tables and things of that nature, and put that person back in their spiritual place so they can go back to their esoteric drawing board and things of that nature and come correct next time they want to come outside and interact, or however the case may be. But people be needing to be spiritually checked, and a person would develop some intelligence but filter through their bias. The highest degree of the intelligence is just covering up their bias, and if all you have to do is kick their bias whole worldview down the road, or whatever the case may be. So they insecurities get exposed and their ego get kicked down the can, because it's in that old sardine can or old string bean or can of corn is in that. You know what I'm saying? Their ego was in that and got kicked down the road or whatever. So the worldview that they didn't got intelligent to cover up, to persuasion, to make it look like it's something else, got kicked way down the road, or whatever the case may be. And their insecurity is the only thing exposed. And a lot of times when a weak spirit is in that position, the only next best thing that they're going to come to that they think is the best idea is violence. You know what I'm saying? That's it. They don't know how to do nothing else. And that's when they turn monkey brains. That's when they turn monkey brains and things of that nature, because a person just out interacting with the world ain't dealing with things when they by themselves, right? And when we don't know that we're self-projecting, for the most part, hurt people, and you just don't think you hurt when you're in that energy of antagonizing, because for the most part you're covering up your hurt in that moment. But all that hurt got put in that little jar, that little Pokemon jar, and get thrown at everybody like a David and Goliath rock or whatever, and you think you just intelligent because you figured out a way to cover it up so you could walk outside and smile. But then that ain't nothing, or whatever the case may be. But this is the level of human brains and frontal lobes that their parents and their mother probably dropped a little too many times and stuff like that at the age of 2 years old and stuff. So once they, stuff like that happens, it ain't that you ain't gotta take no baby to the hospital or whatever, stuff like that, because everything all good, baby stop crying and stuff like that. But it be damaged. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it might not play out until about when they turn 19. You know what I'm saying? They turn 27, Saturn returns and stuff. I'm saying, but for the most part, it be there. It be there. We see them every day. So for the most part, y'all got a peep game. It's a deep world. But if you the more you can understand yourself, the more you're able to understand others. It ain't how they got y'all into separation. The more you can understand others, the more you understand the world, and then you end up being the most negative person, or the most toxic, or got the most secrets, or hidden individual, and things of that nature. Here's the secret to that. When you learn equilibrium, any organ that's similar that you share with other individuals, for the most part, ultimately that's what people are trying to make sure that's all right. So if you got a brain, you got a heart, you eat, fucking sleep, 9 times out of 10, a person who shares similar organs, they ain't no squirrel, is they? A lot of people look like one. They ain't no goddamn gorilla, silverback one. A lot of people look like Bigfoot. But for the most part, then you know, if you learn these things about yourself, you might got your own how, but the what is the heart, the brain, the organs, the creativity, right? Expressing that, a person will be able to pull a gem from that. And that's ultimately what you're doing to gain relatability or to learn about someone else. Now, the only thing you have to learn after that fact will be less on a percentage scale than you actually start off as, that you put more on a percentage scale and separate from you learning about yourself and think you got to learn about others more to be intelligent. And that manifests as you self-projecting, you a person who don't know yourself. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when you understand that and you learn more about yourself, you're learning about the same thing that someone else got, but you're just doing it in your own specific way. And that's the best way you can know of it. So once you understand that, the only thing you'll be learning is the how a person do it. So you win half of the battle of being confused on what you're dealing with when your judgment be cloudy and stuff like that. But when you understand things clearly, you'll understand. You know what I'm saying? For an example, it could be a situation where because everything is a self-reflection and projection where people don't understand it. Let's say a person is antagonizing you or whatever the case may be, right? And they say you got a lot of time on your hands, right? In all actuality, they got a lot of time on their hands because that's what they're self-projecting. Because in reality, it took them a lot of time to come up with a narrative. It took them up with a lot of time or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, it's a self-projection that if a person don't know how to check themselves or see themselves, we're in a new time right now where the veil is lifted. And we're seeing the characteristics that develop as neurons and substance now before a person's actions. So that's more on the basis of what's your reasoning to doing something, what's your intentions to doing something, not what you actually doing. You know what I'm saying? And we can see this, how this playing out in regular life, low class, middle class, high class, the industries, the music industries, all these things of that nature, where I always say rollouts, but it's more than that and stuff like that. Where once upon a time, the flashing lights and things of that nature had you more excited to want to participate or want to be a consumer, other than knowing what was going on behind closed doors and a lot of these people was playing with or getting a booty hole played with, or in some case of that nature. Now you're looking at it like, oh, beyond the glamour, beyond the lights, camera, actions and things of that nature, what's the motive of why this lights, camera, action is happening now, aka why this rollout now, why this narrative now. So for the most part, you have certain people who can't describe it, but they spirit still react and may not buy the records or go to the concerts or go to the comedian shows as much as they used to, and things of that nature. Then you have other people from the urban communities and the suburbs and reservations and things of that nature that may now actually can start explaining it and be like, damn, I always been seeing this, but I was just lost in some type of loop or lost in some type of esoteric Jim Jones Kool-Aid sauce or whatever the case. That not the rapper, the cult leader and things of that nature. I guarantee he a fixed sign too. Any cult leader, all cult leaders fixed signs. Tauruses, Leos, Scorpios, Aquariuses. You can find them talking about they make their own thing about something. You know what I'm saying? This is always them. I don't think the feds know enough about astrology. They be all over the place attacking everybody and stuff. Mutable signs don't even know what to do. They be having other people around. Cardinal signs too busy trying to do their own thing and want to see other people do their own thing, not always with them and stuff like that. Fixed signs, they want everybody around them to think fixated like they think or whatever. Right there, that's a cult leader right there. What's your zodiac sign? Taurus, cult leader. I said, what's your Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, cult leader. Oh, I'm saying, shout out to all my peaceful Tauruses out there, the goddamn Aquarius and Scorpios and Leos. Make sure I throw Leo in there. Make sure you don't forget I said your name, Leo. Don't forget. I said, you know what I'm saying? I know how to spot them. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Get deep in the game though, you know what I'm saying? Because the fixed signs got some type of fixated energy. So for the most part, they got this comfort zone. So here's the thing: mutable signs and cardinal signs be needing that fixated energy. So this is what makes the fixed signs attractive a lot of times, right? Because their qualities a lot of times be the things that the mutable signs and the cardinal signs lack. Yet it's stationary and probably larger on a percentage scale of things that's going on in nature when it comes to the fixated qualities. So there's things that Leos, Scorpios, Tauruses, and Aquariuses do that they're not spiritually down to the nuances and the senses of things that still be going on just because they're made out of that sun bubble at those particular times. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh, walking, talking times and stuff like that, right? So for the most part, a lot of times, even if you're doing something that may not be holy, may not be rightful or whatever, we be so much in our distractions of what Walt Disney taught us, and to get $1, a lot of these things we all have to do anyway to participate in this faulty world. So a lot of times, just the way fixed signs go about things will make a cardinal or mutable sign feel more sure about their decision-making qualities if we want to get fixated in something. It got to be in those type of situations, though, if we're getting fixated in something. When it's time to switch something up, adjust something, or change, or separate, boom, mutable signs. When it's time to push something new, because something old and outdated, or whatever the case, or take more power and control, because this is getting old and outdated, cardinal signs, or whatever the case may be. But when it comes to the fixed signs, and the world is predicated, everything we do take patience, stability. We have to make sure this for the long haul. There's a large percentage scale of things that's still predicated on the fixated energy when the sun and the moon is in those fixed signs. And if you was born at those times, you're part of that makeup. You're part of that air water bubble. You know what I'm saying? Your organs is part of that move. So the way your left elbow move isn't different than the mutable and the cardinal signs that go beyond the things that we're only caring to pay attention to, like our distractions and stuff like that. But when you get spiritual, you really start to pay attention and stuff like that. It get down, it get deep too, all the way to the point that all Tauruses got a certain shoulder blade structure. All Leos got a certain like gut or like a gut structure. It ain't really have nothing to do with the face or whatever the case may be. All Scorpios got a certain pelvic structure and things of that nature. Because once it leave from Scorpio, get to Sagittarius, all Sagittarius got a certain thigh structure or whatever. When I get into who I'm leaving out, Tauruses, Leos, Scorpio, Aquariuses. All Aquariuses got a certain leg structure too. You know what I'm saying? Certain shin structure, knee structure, chin, face alignment, like what they call that? Not cheekbones. Jawline, alignment. You know what I'm saying? All Aquarius have a certain microphone jawline. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying you can count them up right now. Go just be like, hey, who's Aquarius? Go on Google and look at their jawline or something like that. No matter they frame, and no matter if they think depressed and their body start changing, somewhere is still a microphone. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes down to like a cord, they neck. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, something like that. And every now and then, someone who thought a lot when they was in their mother's stomach, their eyes be far apart. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, just some of them. Like some, like, you know what I'm saying? They thought a whole lot when they was in their mother's stomach, so they get born looking like an Avatar character. Oh, I'm saying that. Not all of them. Not all of them. Not all of them. They gonna have that beatbox microphone here. They gonna have it though. They gonna have the beatbox microphone. You know what I'm saying? Their mother should have gave him a microphone out the ass. He would have been rich way before he or little she became an adult. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And before they created crusty family situations to the point that you might be their mama and still don't get taken care of because what was happening when they was growing up and who they went out and made relationships with and made more family out of and stuff like that, you might not get no money from them being in front of a microphone. You know what I'm saying? They gonna make money from it. That's one thing Aquarius gonna do. You just can't be born in no world with no big beatbox microphone head. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You just can't be born in a world like that, and God don't give you no natural gift to be in front of a microphone, and you ain't gonna be blessed with some money or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying? Why you think Michael Jordan went further than everybody else who was just on the court just like him, doing wrestling narratives and stuff like that? Yeah, we gonna win this game. Next game, we ain't gonna win. Next game, you gonna hit the final shot. These cats be setting up whole plays on everybody's brain. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody losing gambling now. Scout's the greatest wrestler, basketball player to ever play. Oh, I don't better than that. I see it all. That's what I gotta shut up. I be having to shut up because I was first on this land. So anything that came after, I see the structures and how it was built up and how a lot of other people made a lot of money off of it and stuff. And once a person makes some money, hey, that's one thing Aries don't do. We don't hate on anybody's money. Get your money. And I'm gonna mind my business. And that's as far as I'm gonna go on that conversation right there. You ain't got to worry about me making 10,000 live streams, me trying to virtual signal, me trying to wake other people up. No, because I'm an Aries too. Deep down inside, I'm like, when the live stream go off and I put myself in that person's shoes, I'm basically just a person trying to stop his pockets or her pocket. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go somewhere else and mind my business or whatever the case may be. And that's how everybody should think and stuff. Like, everybody should get them quotas from Aries. You know what I'm saying? I don't be trying to be good. Now, I don't know about no celebrity Aries or whatever. But real life Aries and stuff like that, we be too busy to sit there and want to hate on someone, enjoying themselves and getting money and stuff like that. No way. We cheer that on. And if you're doing something we don't like, we ain't got time to sit there and complain about it either, or make 1,000 live streams about it either, or whatever. We got time to talk about something we do like. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all need to get with God after a while, because eventually y'all start to dry out and be like, I don't know what else. I don't know what to talk, especially if you're a content creator. I don't know what to talk about. It's time to get to God. Time to get with God. You know what I'm saying? At that time, you just gotta sit back and realize it's time to get with God there, because you get ready to crash out. That's really what you get ready to do. You get ready to be in the kitchen looking at a whole bunch of knives and stuff like that, and then your wrists out and it's hot outside and stuff like that. That's the wrong combination. Wrong combination. You know what I'm saying? Wrong combination. And we get ready to get to them tiles too. I see the shift. God showed me a shift we get ready to get into. Give up energy. Who a high energy. Just add the S on it. Who am I? Who am I? Who did that song? Just add the S. Who and I know. You know what I'm saying? Who had them suicide doors on that Range? You know what I'm saying? That Rolls Royce and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We getting in that season right now. Just a whole bunch of people who can't afford a Rolls Royce. Just separate the Rolls Royce and the doors and stuff. And now, we getting in that time too. So if you ain't got this, especially you live in the hood, you need channels like mine, or you need somebody in the hood like me or something like that. Get ready to get in this summertime. I'm telling you, it don't even, like, the mind is so messed up. It don't matter if you got a profession. It don't matter if you in a good position. It don't matter if your parents set you up. It don't matter if you went out. It don't matter if you got a good career or whatever the case may be. It's some other spirits going on right now, and the person gonna crash out. They're gonna crash out for that spirit and that thought, that the first body that soul, that spirit is in. Then that person is in the same spiritual space, so they might got some agreements, but it was something that wasn't important or to be motivated to take action on. And now that's all they're going to be able to see, because we're going through the new shift, and things that come with the old shift ain't much of an importance. And it just so happened a lot of that is, if you're in the industry, your contracts and stuff, where before 2016, there might have been certain things in your contract that'll make you be like, well, I'm going to still do this. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's things right now, you like, man, fuck y'all. Now you're going to say like Ranch on Friday or something like that. My grandmama gave me that chain. Crash out energy on 10. Give up energy on 10. I'm never going to be shit energy on 10. My pussy always going to be dry energy on 10. Let me be a feminist for the rest of my life and try to get some money energy. You know what I'm saying? On the female side, I'm telling you. It's going down. It's going down, baby. When it's summertime, everyone lost their mind. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody already lost their mind. That's why online been kind of low key, quiet, and things of that nature. It ain't that everybody lost their mind right now. People eating the wrong bread or something like that, or something in the air and the water spoiled or something. There's something wrong or something like that. People's attitudes. You know what I'm saying? People go through attitude problems and stuff. And that's another thing too. Celebrities, be careful at this time. Because listen, this all now I don't really care about all y'all becoming content creators because I understand the industry had to create a new circumstance for y'all to still be in the same position because the world changed and people like me changed it. You know what I'm saying? Brought it back to the old world, the old wild wild west and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna help you out because the attention thing, right? There's other ways to get your 1-2 that still manifests as this new way of attention anyway. But be careful trying to conduct too much of the old ways of going about things right now. Because here's the thing. Let's say you even try to do something and you think getting attention and being talked about. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. Being talked about and getting attention can help. But you're actually, at this moment, you got to come up with a more creative way. Because you know how you have that feeling of your value being belittled because you have to do certain things that you wouldn't have did before 2016. It's going beyond that. Look at it online like a world that's separate from the world you was in. And the world you was in was the old world, the old industry, right? So when you jump in this world, it's like piranhas. So you probably thinking with your handlers or your team right now that, okay, we got to get the attention or mimic it. But what's going on in the spiritual world is piranhas want their own water puddle. They don't need no other type of fish mind state coming in that water puddle. So you jumping in, getting the piranhas rowdy, you thinking that's going to result into the old accumulation from the old world just in a new world. But what actually happens is you put yourself in a line of fire of getting your energy took. So when you create a narrative to try to get attention online, it's like jumping as a fish in another pond into the pond of piranhas for your energy to get took and plucked. So you can even come up with a sufficient narrative or rollout that you think is supposed to be cold. The sentiment is you throwing yourself in piranhas, and that ain't the goal of people wanting to be happy about it. The goal is, what can I take from this so my puddle could get attention? That little puddle over there, piranhas. What can I rip apart from that fish? Your mind state, you just jumped in because this is our first bodies in the spiritual world. That I could get my puddle of water lit, my piece of wave of the ocean lit. And for the most part, you end up being nothing and all your attention get taken for other people to get lit. So you come up here trying to create a narrative for everybody to talk about, but people in the mind frame of taking your energy, talking about you for them to get lit, and then you end up not being lit, and then everybody just remember that page who was talking shit about you. Now they more lit, they're a content creator, they making more money than you, and you in a profession creating an old world, trying to jump into a piranhas in a new world, and that's the wrong tactic for today's time. Wrong tactic. You know what I'm saying? So you got to swim with piranhas. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it, though. And it's the time we in. So be careful. The narrative could get your energy drained and you're not nothing. So let's say like you a big rapper. You invest a couple $1 million in a narrative to get promoted to us. I'm not these people. Y'all can check my page. Y'all know I'm a person that I talk and joke, but my titles is me trying to get my 1-2. So I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm like everybody else, regular. But scavengers online. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like you paid $1 million to put an energy out for other people to take. It's like you put a fruit out for other people to take in their little basket to their little hut and start selling. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gave out free product. You giving out free product. You didn't even need no middleman. You straight got to connect. The labels, the handlers and stuff, the agents, you got to connect already, right? So you come to the block and you just give everybody a whole bunch of, you give everybody everything. Not even on Uncle Simon to owe you back. You give it out for free. So you done paid a couple millions for bundles just to give it out, and everybody just start flipping and making money, and you come to the block, nobody giving you nothing. That's what's going on right now. If you a rapper and you got a big budget and you ain't creative enough with your team, or y'all ain't having these talks, y'all not reading the room, Or y'all ain't got no spiritual next door homie. Thank God for me online. But for the most part, if you want to save a little bit of money, because here's the thing, things don't even take money right now like that, especially when it comes to attention or whatever the case. Actually, the more broke and genuine something is, make the average individual want to connect, because you remind us of a position that we in or whatever the case may be. So it's redirect. A lot of y'all could save a lot of money right now and things of that nature. And take the things y'all spending millions on, few couple thousands here, a few, all the way to videos. You back in the day, you would spend all that high budget on a Hype Williams video, and all you need for something to be lit right now, get a DVD dude that got enough energy to be online now. You got a couple out there already or whatever, and start building an ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, it's another hood ecosystem like the DVDs was or whatever the case may be. And we rather see that video in your backyard or in your basement, or dudes showing up to your block around your homies, or chilling in your whip or your favorite food place you go to and spit your bars over the table or whatever the case and do a couple scenes and that. We want to see that now. We don't, all that glamour, all that type of stuff. We can't do that. We don't want to see you do that. We damn sure don't want to see you copying us trying to get there. And that's the sentiment we in. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it like that. Put yourself in our shoes. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I don't do this, but that's the energy out. That's the world we in right now. You could be paying for your energy to get taken, not your energy to get reciprocated, or whatever the case may be. So use your money wisely. Right now, we dealing with the moon being in Capricorn, sun being in Taurus. Initiate and create new ways of how to think and be practical for something fixated. So you probably already fixated on your 1-2, on your practicality, your productivity, second house energies, your values, what you have to offer to the world, where you plant seeds at to build your self-esteem, right? But for the most part, that fixated energy, something has to be initiated. Something has to be forced. Something that was old, it don't have to be switched up, but a new gadget got to be put to it, like some XM radio on that old car. So yeah, the car's still running, but it can sound much better when you listening to a song and they ain't cutting out the curses and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, it's like that, utilizing the world we in, the Capricorn energy, initiating, creating a new way of how to think and be practical about something you already fixated on. So, you know, that's updating something, buffering something up, giving it a new look, or giving it that motivation that, yeah, you're already doing that, so it's familiar. But give it a little bit more motivation. It could go a little further. The potential could be a little bit more higher, or whatever the case may be. Give yourself a chance. A lot of times y'all don't give yourselves a chance because y'all be too much on a comfort zone, and these comfort zones is too much attached to the percentage scale of the outdated old world / it died 2016. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been a slow death, or a slow, well, this part's still good, but this grape is rotten. This part of it's still good, but this part got a worm in it. So I could just cut the worm out, or I could just take that. I just don't have to eat that grape, or whatever the case. And that been since from 2016 to now, 10 years later or whatever. Now it's just nothing else to eat, nothing else to duplicate, nothing else to accumulate, or whatever the case may be. So why spend money where you can't buy no more flowers or seeds at the flower garden? You know what I'm saying? The flower garden get ready to go out of business in the esoteric world. It then went out of business for real. But people trying to rebuffer the corporation of the flower garden, or make some GMO seeds, or whatever the case may be. Here's the thing. People ain't buying it. Mentally and physically. Showing up to these concerts, buying these records, coming up to these movie theaters and things of that nature, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And we see the people that's not lost in narratives is only the last shining hopes when it comes to the director of the movies, when it comes to the musicians, when it comes to technology, when it comes to corporations. We can see a clear difference. Those who ain't lost in narratives, we leaning on them anyway. We shouting them out. People leaning on narratives could be in the same position, but it's something funky behind it. So even the sheep is not even buying it, mentally and physically, for some strange reason, or whatever the case may be. And that has to be studied. But there's a lot of things going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, just being aware of these things allow you to win half of the battle, or whatever the case, and be in that position where you be the face of something new for the next 100 years. Because it ain't no next 10, 20 years. Whatever's going on right now will be for the next 300 years. We in that type of shift right now. So from right now to 2050 and things of that nature, whatever's happening, these events now, is what's going to be the next 300 years. It's always a 300-year cycle. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes into the race stuff, the ethnic stuff, and stuff like that, that's why race baiting don't work no more. Because everybody already knew what they was. People knew what they was invested into was for other purposes. Maybe biases, maybe living conditions, maybe money. So when it come to generalized terms and things of that nature and categories and all these type of terms and stuff like that, the veil was lifted. So people realized that they was reacting based on the glasses and the veil. But everybody already knew what they was. Always how this race war is, how they was playing that out at the beginning of the year with Caribbeans and stuff like that. Not everybody, not even really doing that. Everybody already knew. It never was nothing different. Even when it was, people thought it's the veil. So the veil is lifted now. So people are able to look back like, yeah, that's why I was protesting. It really wasn't the race thing. It really wasn't that. It really because we was broke. It really wasn't because it is. It really because on the news they said that city got that and we didn't get it yet. Like it was always these kind of things. You couldn't get on a bus yet. Like we had that yet. It's always that. You know what I'm saying? Now you start to realize like, wait a minute, a lot of that stuff was petty as hell. Like, and a lot of us didn't like murdered each other for these reasons and robbed each other for these reasons. And a lot of these things just don't seem worth it no more in this time when it comes to our spirit. Our spirit tied. You could just be born now and you Gen or a little bit below Gen Z, Gen Alpha and stuff like that, and your spirit and your lineage and your people, the blood is back at a beginner stage again. It's a fleshing out system. So it's not even something that it's like you is still the same people. We are still the same people from 300 years ago. We are the same people. You know what I'm saying? We're just dealing with what we're dealing with now in our new bodies and stuff like that. It's tiring. It's like you're in a new body, so you're not looking at it from that spiritual senses, but you're reacting the same way as a person tired of something, like they tired of their job because they've been there over the time. It's playing like that in our first bodies, the mental world, and we all going through a new shift. So those old ones, your spirit tired, your soul like, nah, we doing that again? And you could be fresh and experiencing the physicality in this time for the first time, but yet you've been experiencing the reason and the spiritual first body of it for ages. So it's tiring. It's 300 years worth of it. You're like, damn, I don't want to do that. This body, I'm tired of doing it. I did that 5 bodies in this span of 300 years, man. This 6 body, this 7 body, I don't want to do that this time. And you don't know why. And it could be the first time you're experiencing these things and stuff like that for this time. But that's the world we in. We in a shift right now, and this is real. This is real. So y'all got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? The spiritual world is a real thing because it's all connected. It's one thing. The spirit transition to the mind, transition to the physical, transition to the external world or whatever. And if you don't know that interconnection or whatever, you will never be able to understand what's going on with you. Yet you know you experiencing things. I mean, we all go through mood shifts and stuff like that. Mood shift, your water shift. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to put it back on direction so you can feel smooth, your blood start getting sporadic. Now you just want to do something to somebody or whatever. You know what I'm saying? All over people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You want to get it out. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's that. You know what I'm saying? But get it back on track, get it back cool, boom. Then that leads into the promised land. And that play out as you being more creative. So you steer your waters the right way. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't a bunch of blood rushing through like chaotic waters. And now you're nervous, just like we're having a thunderstorm. And because all of us is in chaotic minds. So Yale was nervous or Yale all over the place. So everybody experiencing scattered storms or everybody want to have war with each other and things of that nature. So we not being good blood cells for Yale. You know what I'm saying? And we messing up Gucci Manitou and messing up the land and doing all this type of stuff. And these are the things that we're connected to. So when you messing up the land, it's something you don't like about your own body. When you messing up the water, it's something you don't like about your own emotions. When you want to block out the sun or you don't care about the sunshine or you don't care or you think about the sun in stupid ways or you're not into it like this and the baggage of astrology or whatever the case may be, it's something you don't like about your own mind. You know what I'm saying? It's so you don't like things about your thoughts. So you self-projecting. You want other people to close off certain awarenesses and certain thoughts and broader thought forms and stuff like that. And a lot of these times it ain't even got to be predicated towards your bias for it to mean something to you or not. A lot of times these could be just certain spaces people could be in to pluck creativity from, bitch. And I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight boss, beep, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and responsibilities. Hee hee. Erecta Swa Hill Hold That Yellow Hoop. Massasoit, Mama na Toy. Hee hee. Woo. Masasaki.